Can't have white rope lights to celebrate Christmas. Okay, get ready for the color explosion. About 20 years ago, my wife and I had just gotten married and we rented a condo where all the windows and sliding door faced the parking area. My wife, to celebrate our first Christmas as a married couple, put a white rope light on the railing on our 2-foot grilling area. It was nice little gesture. That night we went out to dinner and when we came home, found a letter under our door. The letter read, all holiday lights must be removed immediately from the exterior portion of the condo. Christmas or other religious lighting is against HOA policy and failure to remove can result in fines and other legal actions. My wife felt horrible and I couldn't believe it. The owner of the condo had left a copy of the HOA regulations and I found a nice little loophole. Apparently, they could regulate lights on the exterior balcony/grilling area, but not lights inside the condo. Game on! I took my wife immediately to the big box hardware store and picked up 2 fake Christmas trees, about 2,000 colored lights, a light ball and whatever holiday decoration I could find. Our condo had 3 windows and the sliding glass door. I filled up each one of those windows with lights, crisscrossing around the inside of the perimeter of the window, and one had the lead ball hanging in the center. The sliding door had the Christmas tree in full view, completely covered in lights and ornaments. Also, the sliding doors were full of Christmas lights. My electric bill must have tripled. When you came into the parking lot of the condo complex, you saw a beacon of light full of Christmas spirit. You probably could see the condo from orbit. And nothing could be said by the HOA snitch. Apparently at the next board meeting, a proposed rule change was brought up to limit the amount of holiday lighting being shown through windows. It was quietly pointed out by another HOA board member that was an attorney that you probably could not regulate activities inside a person's dwelling. I moved out before next year, but I never received another notice.
Now to the comments. Oh no, these are not Christmas lights. I'm atheist. These are Thanksgiving lights. Happy holidays BTW.
These? Oh no, these are not Christmas lights. I'm atheist. Almost the tack I wanted to take. These lights aren't religious. I'm just celebrating the gift-giving festivities of the winter solstice. After all, you're only banning religious lighting, and Christmas isn't a religious holiday. It can't be, since it's a federal holiday.
These are my Festivus lights. It's a non-religious gathering based on ducking Seinfeld. It's not religious. The beacons of Christmas have been lit.
Santa calls for aid.
And the elves will answer. I am not in an HOA, and have a good relationship with the neighbors across the street. I do not know where they lived previously, but they asked in a hushed, reverent tone, do you think they neighbors would mind if we put up some decorations for Diwali? Mind? I think they would appreciate it. This was last year when everyone was really getting cabin fever.
My former landlord is a Hindu. I live in a duplex and he is in the other unit. I love it when they put up the lights for Diwali. It's like Christmas came early for me. He even greets me Merry Christmas during December. I also gift his beautiful daughter late December and call it a New Year's Day gift. We get along really well.
I freaking love Diwali. All my Indian co-workers flood our offices with awesome food, my neighbors rock lights. I'm a pagan, so anybody celebrating with cool deco and delicious food is good in my books. I got a letter from my HOA that my driveway was too dirty. I threw some concentrated muriatic acid on the stains and they disappeared, leaving an inverted stain of the acid running down my driveway. Looked like absolute shit but was objectively cleaner than anyone else's driveway. Didn't get fined.
Anyone who gives a shit if their neighbor's driveway is dirty needs to find a hobby.
That is their hobby. Best one I ever had was an HOA notice for a brown spot in my grass during a month of 100-degree weather in the middle of a drought, threatening a hefty fine if it was not corrected. I went around the neighborhood and took Polaroids of all the brown spots in the GRA of spaces the HOA was responsible for. Ended up with a few bankers' boxes full. At the next HOA meeting I walked up and dumped them all on the table and told them the HOA owed the homeowners a few $1,000,000 if fines were applied to them as well. They never bothered me again.
Oh, that totally backfired at the HOA. Well done.
These are not holiday lights. I'm an avid airport enthusiast. This is part of my ode to landing strips. Edit. Oh shit, encouragement. Thank you. Edits. My most awarded comment ever. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I love you all.
Then they tell you that you are part of a cargo cult.
John from. Good for you for doing that, that's awesome. It's insane how ridiculous some people can be. Like you and your wife just wanted a small strand of lights outside. It amazes me someone would be that upset by that.
I hate HOAs.
And also, people who snitch to HOAs on their neighbors for lame things like string lights. What if you argued that the lights weren't put up to celebrate holidays but something else? Birthday, promotion, funeral, successful assassination, etc.
Might have to let them win this year, but put them up next summer and just never take them down.
This is what my follow-up to the Christmas light explosion would have been. Around April the next year, string the white rope light up, not as a holiday/religious decoration, but just a regular decoration. I lived in an HOA that threatened to take me to court over the color of light bulbs inside my unit. They said that it altered the exterior appearance of the building. I eventually contacted their lawyer and it was the first he heard of it and thought it was stupid. These annoyances I see like this one are the primary reason I want absolutely nothing to do with an HOA, at all. Good job, Clark. You know I fixed my HOA? I got on the board and didn't let any of the busybodies make stupid rules and had them replaced with my neighbors that wanted to do anything besides make new rules. Who the duck regulates against Christmas lights? Like duck whoever complained to, but imagine codifying against something harmless and basically universally enjoyed. My sister refers to this kind of decorating as a holiday puke fest.
There's always one house on our street that looks like Santa vomited. It's like the lights of Las Vegas, complete with blow-up figures and various other bits and bobs. For the past 4 years I've shaken my head as I walk by. This year they are not up. I think the owner is elderly, and I actually feel like chapping their door and asking if they want help getting them out and going. That might be weird. I miss the Christmas insanity though.
My sister's neighbor used to go nuts for both Halloween and Christmas. They're older now, too. Which means I am, too. Do any HOAs exist which don't suck?
The non-sucky HOAs you don't hear about until they start to suck. The suckiness is usually preceded by some busybody on a power trip moving in, getting on the HOA board, deliberately deciding to make life difficult for someone/some people over something that's on the book, but never enforced, or some other change in the HOA that makes everything worse. There's a great HOA parking enforcement story from a forum where the guy's car got booted on the street, rightfully or wrongfully, I don't remember, but he had the tools to bring his car into his garage, and did so, to great legal and malicious compliance on the part of multiple parties. I think it was eventually found out that there was some nepotism involved in who got the parking enforcement agency contract that took over. Prior to that event, he hadn't had any issues/unreasonable issues with the HOA.
If I recall correctly, he removed the wheel and the boot without damaging it, and called the company to say they could come collect their boot. They told him no, you have to pay the removal fee, to which he replied, don't have to, removed it myself. Come get your property off my property. The judge, it went to court, sided with him because he didn't damage it, or hold it from them, and the HOA guy was getting kickbacks from the tow company. Edit, he pulled the car into the garage with the boots on, not removed at all. Been years since I read this one. So by the wording of that rule, putting up non-religious or non-holiday lighting is okay, like a giant swastika or an animated goatsy, maybe. I hope they kicked the Grinch off of the HOA board after a few spoiled Christmases. My electric bill must have tripled. Ducking with HOAs is worth the cost. It was quietly pointed out by another HOA board member that was an attorney that you probably could not regulate activities inside a person's dwelling.